Master, Dharma friends, welcome to our Sutra lecture, Amitofo. My name is Heng Sure. Today is Monday, November 27th, and this is Sunday night, November 26th, in city of 10,000 Buddhas in California. I am here in the Gold Coast of Queensland, and we are about to begin our Ten Transferences Sutra lecture of the Avatamsaka Sutra. 我们马上就开始十回向品大梵广佛华严经十回向品的佛经讲座。好了，那么我们马上就请 Kelly 帮我们请法。So I'm going to invite Kelly to request the Dharma and going to put my palms together, and anyone who would like to bow with me, 3 half bows to the Buddha, will do it now. 我们先就行3个问讯礼，从你们的座位上。好，1问讯，2问讯，3问讯。好，Kelly, if you would like to request Dharma, please do it now. 请 Kelly 就先请法。
恭请大德僧听，为此法会，尽切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and dies, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 好的 ，OK， 感恩。I just had the opportunity to meet with Kelly and many Dharma friends in Beijing and in Shanghai and in Hangzhou. Just returned from a fine delegation to China and had a chance to meet many of the friends who ordinarily I only see them as names on our Zoom call list, but now we have faces to join with the names and had a wonderful time meeting everybody in China. 就说今天Kelly 请法，我们刚刚有机会在北京，就跟许多我们经常听法的佛友们一起见个面，一起吃个饭，在北京、上海、杭州，难得了，就从中国回来，从国内有这个机会跟大家见个面，现在也有名字，也有面孔。 So 很难得了. Wow, very wonderful. So we want to say hello to our co-host, our Heng Sure, City of 10,000 Buddhas. Monica is here, and Aling from Stockton, and our friends from way up north in Washington State, and Anne from LA, and Barbara and Bob are here. Hey, long time no see. Got my banjo here. Celeste is here from Hong Kong, and Mr. Lin from Taipei, and Miss Liao from Fremont. Connie is here, and let's see here. Utpala is here. Daisy from Calgary. Daniel from Portland. Great. Mr. Ouyang from Malaysia. Elaine from Texas. Wow, okay. Friends from Zhejiang. Friends from Hubei. Friends from Dublin, Ohio. And Alameda, California. Where else? Cupertino. Yes. Okay. We have here friend Miss Do is here. And friends from Liaoning. Wow, Manchuria, highly represented. James is here from Sacramento. Jane from Berkeley. Jenny from Seattle. John from Seattle. Hi, John. June from Seattle. Okay. And June May from Montreal. Bienvenue à tous. And Kim from Vietnam. Lan from London. Louis from, let's see, Linda from South San Francisco. Okay, Lingfeng, Mai, Michelle, Lingfang. Okay, some Lingfang from Taipei. Petter is here from Oslo, from Norway. Situ from Malaysia. Terry is here, as always. Tina from Oklahoma. Okay, Tony from Index, Washington. Okay, way up north, where Dharmesta Lai is. Then we have, let's see, Cheng Wei Hua from Beijing, another friend we met in the restaurant, and Willie from Virginia. Yuan is here. Yvonne from Malaysia. Okay, 然后呢，我们就改到中文哈。从浙江啊、北京啊、上海啊、哈尔滨啊、杭州哈，还有那个风一家人三位哈，欢迎你们就说辽宁还有什么黑龙江唐山河北北京又辽宁北京辽宁湖南 OK 湖南省什么地方广州黑龙江东北人最多肯定没有第二个陕西欢迎欢迎非常欢迎泉州福建湖南黑龙江包头内蒙古北京很多北京朋友今天来参加可能我们这次的北京的朋友增长一些因为刚刚在那里把这个讲经说法的消息多几个人知道了呼和浩特深圳海南岛吉隆坡就说还有洛杉矶中国哪里辽宁深圳上海黑龙江台北 and Jason is here from Sunnyvale great okay wow 那么多朋友我们还没有迎请华严海会佛菩萨护法三圣天龙八部要请他们来我们就有福报了就他们会加持各位没有白来了So let's request the Dharma from request the participation of the gods and the dragons and the Eightfold Pantheon as well as the Avatamsaka Assembly. When Master Hua did it at Buddhist Lecture Hall in a Gold Mountain city of 10,000 Buddhas, you definitely had the feeling that there was something very special happening. And as he said, when they arrive, they're just hoping that people will invite them, that people will remember that this is an option. When the Dharma wheel is turned, as they say, rufa, according to Dharma, there's goodness for all beings. So the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas celebrate. And they shed light, and that light kind of makes our troubles seem very small. and it makes our joy grow. So that's a reason to do this formally. 记得玄华上人他在佛教讲堂，他在金山寺万佛城请法的时候，他就要我们这样是如法殷勤华严海会佛菩萨，还有般若会上佛菩萨，还有弥陀经的、莲华经的，所有的就海会佛菩萨莅临道场，他们来的因为带来光明你们师父在那儿如法做了，你就会感觉到境界不同了他们都会加持，就把我们这个黑暗的烦恼就减少，我们的光明的福气就增长，都会有感觉了。所以我们没有上人的法力，我们还有一番诚心来如法去做Excuse me. Bad timing. One more. You don't want to get a sudden itch to sneeze while you're requesting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Nope. All right. One more bit of business here, actually two. We are lecturing from City of 10,000 Buddhas in theory, in intent, so we want to acknowledge the Pomo people who practice spiritual connections to the earth and all creation here on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of those lands. We offer our respect to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说婆摩人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系已有数万年。今天我们承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，并且向他们过去、现代和新兴的长老们表示敬意，以及主权从未被割让的所有第一民族的人民们表示敬意。Good. The bells song, we don't have a bell. My bell's in my bag. Ding. So we will recite it. The bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sound that everywhere fills the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000千内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，利益报他诺护德。Go. Let me ask, is my voice loud enough? Can everybody hear? maybe type in there, yes, is it loud enough? I want to be sure that I've got the right, very clear, good, okay, that's good. Okay, because when I was away, I took down my microphone and soundboard equipment and set it all back up, and you always want to do a sound check. I am my own engineer as well as my own talent. Yep. Okay. One man show here with the help of many other hands on the other end. 我们现在就在讲解华严经的释慧商品。这个释慧商品是一个法门，不过它华严经给我们描写的菩萨的心肠，然后就给我们示范，我们可以看到菩萨如何发愿。这个法门是很妙，因为有个故事，我先把那个故事讲给大家听。We're looking at the Ten Transferences chapter, and the whole chapter actually is a single practice. It's just one way of practicing, but it takes up one of the longest chapters of the whole sutra to describe this single practice. The reason being that not only do we have the theory of how it should be practiced, we have examples, many, many, many examples of how bodhisattvas actually do practice transference. We get to hear their vows, the vows they make. And I have a story that I want to illustrate this with. 这个故事是有值得听。华严经华严宗第四祖叫清凉果师称观法师，他呢住在五台山，他是一个大菩萨，叫华严菩萨，他的寿命已经超过100年，他的为人，大家他还记得他这么特别，他写一本注解解释华严经，然后他的弟子们看他们的师父写的，就说师父我们看不懂，你写的太高。他又下第二个注解解释第一个注解，后来的人就把他们跟华严经的经文，然后华严经疏、华严经抄放在一起，所以我们现在都可以看经书这个经文解释，还有第二个解释，通通叫华严疏抄。这个华严疏抄10本，现在的版本很长，还有第10册里边都有一些散文。散文里边有清凉果师，他偶尔想到一些问题，或者我们现在叫 Q&A， 就是问答，就 FAQ frequently asked questions， 就经常会看到的大家起的问题了。一个呢，就是有人就说，普贤菩萨10大愿望，实在是华严经的等于门锁。你如果门锁上了，你有一个锁把，你可以把它打开了。普贤菩萨的10大愿望等于那个锁把，打开华严经所有的修行的秘密，是这么一回事。So the story goes that the monk of the Tang Dynasty who looked at the Avatamsaka Sutra and explained it in a commentary, and then whose disciples read that commentary, and the disciples complained. They said, 师父， too lofty, too deep. Can we have a second commentary to explain the first one? He didn't stop. He picked up his writing brush and wrote out a second commentary. So we have a commentary and a sub-commentary. And of course, I'm talking about the monk known as Master Chengguan, Qingliang Guoshi. There we go. Qingliang Guoshi was known as Avatamsaka Bodhisattva because of his remarkable lifespan and his wisdom and all miracles around him, plus his ability to really write commentaries. So that's how we remember him. And later people took the sutra, every passage, the commentary explaining it, and then the sub-commentary explaining the commentary, and put them all together very conveniently in a book. So now we have the Huayan Sutra, the sutra, the commentary, and the sub-commentary, nicely, neatly pasted together. Along with that, Master Chengguan wrote occasional essays explaining certain topics that he encountered among his disciples. And now we would call it Q&A or FAQ, frequently asked questions. So one of those essays had the following represented, which I thought was really fun to remember. They said, you know, you've told us, Shifu, that the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva's practices and vows, Puxian Pusa Shridayama, are the key to cultivating the Avatamsaka Sutra. They're like a key that unlocks the door. If you ask the question, how do we cultivate the Avatamsaka? This is the answer. So I'm going to switch back to Chinese and carry the story forward. So 他就说有人问我说，如果普贤菩萨十大愿望是修行华严经的，等于一个门锁，一个扫把，为什么10个呢？太多了，能不能缩小？然后成光法师就说其实要尊敬法，有10个，要有整个功德，你减少恒愿，恐怕功德也会少了。不过，虽然话这么说，我可以了。我们如果就说一开始有10个了 ，well， 我们也可以说有5个了，也差不多了，也有那个精要都还在。然后那个即使有说不满意5个还太多了，我们不是要一门深入呢？能不能缩短、缩少？青南国师说 OK， 我明白，大家都要简要。好了，如果你真的问我，普贤恒愿可以最少的数目也包括所有这个功德呢？我可以说，可以2个，哪2个？各位想想看。So somebody complained to Master Chengguan and said, you know, 10 is a lot. That's just too many to remember. Is there any way that we can reduce the number of practices and vows of Samantabhadra and still have all of the merit and virtue of the original 10? Is there any way we could get like a bargain number on this? Master Chengguan said, oh, people just love bargains and they're lazy. So you still want all the merit and virtue, but you don't want to do all 10. Well, I understand. So probably 5. You could do 5 are more important than the other 5. And then the person said, yeah, 5 is still too many. How can we possibly accommodate all 5? Right? Bowing to the Buddha and praising and all that. What's the minimum number that we can still have the merit and virtue of the original 10? So Master Chengguan says in his essay that accompanies the Avatamsaka, he says, well, there are 2. And if you can really make those 2 work, you can unlock all the rest of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Now, my question to all of you is, which 2? Which two would you suppose? Okay. So we're getting a couple answers here. What do you all think? Which of the 10? So we know the 10. So what are the 10? Somebody's going to say, tell us the 10, and we'll tell you which two are the essentials. 有人就说，你法师，你告诉我们那10个，我们都10个里边都会猜哪2个是最 minimum 最低限度都可以有整个10个所有的功德。第一是礼敬诸佛，不是吗？礼敬诸佛。第二呢，称赞如来。第三是什么？广修功德。广修 ，I'm sorry， 说错了，广修供养，修供养。第4呢，忏悔业障。有的人记得我上次对了。那前4个礼敬、称赞、供养、忏悔是你个人你自己一个人修的，还有4个是我们在人群里边，在工人在一起修的是什么？就是随心，就是随喜功德。请转法轮，请佛住世，常随佛学。这是第5、第6、第7、第8，那是人在一起，一群人一起修行可以了。最后有2个，他们也不是个人的，也不是群人，是普遍的。是什么？普劫，就说恒顺众生。第10个普劫回向。你们大家记得了这10个。在10个里边，清凉果师就选择2个。他说，忏悔业障、普劫回向，差不多了。So those of us who have been following Master Hua's Avatamsaka teachings for a long time will know that what are the 10? In fact, we do them every day for morning ceremony. First is bowing to the Buddhas, Li Jing Zhu Fo. Second is praising the thus come ones. Third is extensively offering, making lots of offerings. The fourth is repenting of errors and faults. So those 4 are considered personal. You do those on your own. You bow, you praise, you offer, and you repent. That's something you can do by yourself. There are 4 more that are social vows. You do those in a group with a community. You rejoice in merit and virtue. You request the Buddha's turning the Dharma wheel, just like we just heard Kelly do. You ask the Buddha to stay, not to enter nirvana, and you vow to always learn from the Buddha. Those are the social vows. But then there are 2 more that follow that are called universal vows. You do those with a bigger scope of mind, a bigger frame of mind. And those are to accord with living beings and then to transfer merit and virtue. So among those 10, let's see, I got some responses here. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, people 听我讲过的，当然你们知道我这个话，你们都如果参加过这个法会的，你们都会熟的就 the first is repenting, and the second is transferring. So 如果就忏悔业障、回向功德这2个都包括10个大愿的功德在内，我们要知道这2个是很重要的。我们要知道如何做，怎么样修得圆满，是不是？ So if we know that there are 2 that carry all potential merit and virtue of the 10, these 2 are pretty strong, and we want to know how to do them right, how to make them really work. So the instructions for how to make that second one, vow number 10, really work, Ten Transferences chapter. 如果我们真的想 确实知道第10个普界回向是怎么做，应该去哪里呢？就是第25十回向品就会答复我们的问题了。好 ，So that is our intro. We want to know, how do we do this successfully? We go to the Ten Transferences chapter. Here we are. Okay. Let's cover what we did the last time first. Hold on. We will cover this one paragraph. A second time. Here we go. 请各位合掌。佛子菩萨摩诃萨复作是念：愿我以此善根果报，尽未来劫修菩萨行，悉以会视一切众生，悉以回向一切众生，普遍无余。Disciples of the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas further reflect as follows. With the rewards from these good roots, I will cultivate Bodhisattva practices to the end of future eons, benefiting every living being, completely dedicating such rewards to each and every one of them, without exception. Okay, there it is. 你们就看了，就是这个，这是一个回向的愿，简单的回向愿，没有详细说怎么样回向，就说我以前所做的善根，我都继续修菩萨行，到今未来际不停，生生世世都这样做，利益众生，把所修来的一切的好处，自己可以享受不享受，自己可以用自己不用，不是给他们无有余的，没有一个不包括在内。So here you go. What is this? This is a really standard, all-purpose, multi-purpose, heavy-duty, bare-bones transference wish. He says, the good stuff that I did, the benefits that I received from cultivating, I want to pay it forward. This is a pay it forward vow, so that I can continue to cultivate Bodhisattva practices to the end of the future. I want to continue. I like this process of using my mind as a bank of merit and virtue, using my mind as a switchboard, as a nexus of merit and virtue, so that I can continue giving. And all the benefits will go to living beings completely, and none will be left out. That's a real Bodhisattva's vow. Now, following this, what comes next is details. He wants to be specific about what he or she wants to give the details about how this is going to work. 接下来呢，菩萨就详细解释这个好处是怎么一回事，就给我们的细节。他第一个，这是一个总，这是别，特别点出怎么样布施，怎么样回向给他们。This Bodhisattva says, check it out. This is like so satisfying because it's not like, I'll be good. It's like, here's how I want to do it. Says, we're going to read this whole section. 我们就念下去，整个这一段。愿令阿僧祇世界珍宝充满，阿僧祇世界衣服充满，阿僧祇世界妙香充满，阿僧祇世界庄严具充满，阿僧祇世界无量摩尼宝充满，阿僧祇世界妙花充满，阿僧祇世界上位充满，阿僧祇世界财货充满， 而生气世界装床座充满，盖以保障，复以苗裔，而生气世界种种庄严宝冠充满。假使一人尽未来劫，当来求索，以此登悟而会失之，未曾厌倦而有修习。如是一人与一切众生悉以如是。Wow, so good. Here we go. May I fill Asankhya's of worlds with precious treasures, with garments, with wondrous fragrances, with objects of adornment, with countless mani pearls, with exquisite flowers, with supreme flavors, with wealth and goods, with beds and sitting places overhung by precious canopies draped in fine fabrics, with splendid jeweled crowns of all kinds. If a person were to constantly ask for gifts until the end of future eons, I would generously provide all such things, tirelessly and unceasingly. Just as I would do this for a single person, I would do the same for all living beings. Pretty amazing what the Bodhisattva has in mind. He could be a she, could be a he. Bodhisattva says, I'm going to take all of the, I did a lot of hard work previously. Might have been, let's pick one, might have been building temples. And in this way, getting good roots, getting good qualities, getting merit. And I'm going to give it away. And what I want to have happen is in the future, asankhya's of worlds. So meaning, not just like one house, not just one hotel, not just one neighborhood, but countries filling worlds, worlds filling space. Each one of those places, so I went from the small to the big and bring it back to the small. Each of those places would have things that would dazzle your body with its six senses. Treasures, garments for the body, fragrances for the nose, adornments for the eyes, pearls for the heart, flowers for the skin, flavors for the tongue, wealth and goods for the whole body. You can sit in beds and feel, in sitting places, and feel comfortable and luxurious, with crowns of all kinds. So 10 kinds of offerings, exquisite and pleasing the body. That's what the Bodhisattva says. Okay, that's my spiritual imagination wants to create such an environment as a result of my gift of merit and virtue. If somebody came to me and asked for gifts like these, I would happily, tirelessly, ceaselessly give them to those people. As I would do it for one person, I want to do it for everybody. So kind of a benefactor. It's hard to think of an example of someone who, what do we even call this kind of generous giving of environments? We have, it's an example of how far our world has come from this paradise type situation that the Bodhisattva is describing. We are living in a time when not only is no one bestowing all of these superb and sublime environments for strangers, we're in a time when explosives rain out of the sky to destroy even the most basic of shelters for living beings. So here's our Bodhisattva. In a time of war that we're in, we can look ahead and say, humans have alternatives, that human beings can create places of luxury and paradise for others through their wholesome spiritual imagination. So, which kind of a world should we choose? 菩萨他就有善根，他的心里又充满一些功德，他用那个很辛苦修的这些功德布施出去。他说：“我愿这个情形实现，我要把二生起世界，就说很多很多的世界。世界呢是以国家成就的，国家是从城市成就的，城市呢是从地区成就的，地区是从家庭成就，成就呢是一个房间一个房间成就的。我先从一个房间包满这些珠宝，身体就舒服了。然后衣服充满，身体觉得很舒服很帅好看。然后呢，妙香充满，鼻子高兴，庄严具充满，整个身体高兴然后摩尼宝，我就心里就想这些就说非常高尚的一个感觉。二生气妙华，皮肤很欢喜；二生气上位，舌头升天了二生气才货充满，所以你就觉得很就说满意一种就说饱的这种的感觉。二生气床座，盖衣保障，数衣苗衣，就在那里整个身体无论睡觉，无论躺着，无论坐着，都就行住坐卧都是觉得很富有没有任何的一些不满意的地方。这是菩萨愿意布施这些环境。这些环境，这些境界，菩萨说整个我愿意布施给众生，种种庄严宝冠，你都有这个感觉很舒服，好像国王戴的这个宝冠呢。就说假使一人进未来界，常来求索，以此等物布施给他的，未曾厌倦，没有一个时候我都觉得哎呀够了，不想做了。如是一人，就与一切人一切众生悉如是。所以菩萨呢，他就说每一个人呢都需要一种安全稳定的一个环境可以住，是自己的房间、自己的房子、自己的这个家人跟你一起的地方，安全平安没有危险，没有不稳定的情形，这是每个人需要的。他说，不但那个简单的一种环境，我都愿意布施给这种的，非常非常舒服、非常豪华的，我都布施给众生。这么一个世界比较起来，就是应该说正法时代，佛跟佛的福气就充满了，这种的极乐国、天国的境界都会实现了。我们现在你说离开这种正法时代，我们已经到末法时代，结果怎么样？不但没有这种的天国的环境，而且呢，现在有战争，有从空中下来炸弹，就把我们很丑陋的这种的房子邻居城市给炸坏了，无家可归的。 甚至于都有生命的危险，跟菩萨愿意成就的恰好相反。所以我们众生的业呢，就引起我们现在的情形。不过呢，也来循环这个世界经过一个成住坏空，现在到这个坏的那个时间，我们都可以知道，人的心也可以造成这些没有战争、没有危险、没有残忍的，就是苦苦的境界，也可以做的，一切为心造。所以呢，我们知道现在有战争的时间了，我们也可以求一个和平的时间、和平的世界。菩萨用他的心造成。So the kind of the message that strikes me, the important part here is that in the sutra, here we have a bodhisattva who is a peacemaker and is also a dreamer. You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Someday I hope you'll come and join us, and the world will be as one. The bodhisattva is here making this wish for a peaceful world that is magnificent and splendid, wonderful to live in. And because we're, as the Buddha described it, worlds come in 4 stages, come into being. They abide, they go bad, and they go back to the void, and they come into being again. We are currently in the decaying stage of worlds. So we have the opposite of the bodhisattva's wishes. But as everything is made from the mind, clearly we can look forward to a time when these vows are not just imagination or written off as being somehow some fantasy of that will never be, never land, right? So everything's made from the mind, and it's important to keep the sutra going so that bodhisattva's description of a reality that they want to happen can, by repetition and by focus, a vow like this made from a concentrated mind, from a mind made with samadhi, is the most powerful thing in the whole world. So I am an optimist, an altruist. I think the sutra's description of humanity's potential is the beacon that we want to follow. The alternative is just to quit in a time of darkness and to let the destructive forces take over sooner. So, not good enough. Let the sutra be heard. Let the Buddha's voice in the sutra be the torch of light and wisdom and kindness that carries us forward out of the darkness into a time of benefit for all. Because our needs haven't changed. It's just our karma is not to be ignored. Keep your eyes on the prize. 就说人心也可以造成这种喜乐的，人人都足够的衣服、饮食、汤药，还有卧具，卧具就是安全的住宅。像不但不够了，就说我们华严经说，就说这么舒服太美庄严的一个环境。Okay, Bodhisattva's vows can make it come into being. Okay, we're going to continue. Next page, please. Thank you. 我们接下来，佛子菩萨摩诃萨如是事实施时，无希畏心，无希望心，无名欲心，无终悔心，无热闹心，单发专求一切智道心，一切喜舍心，爱民众生心，教化成守心， 戒令安住一切智之心，佛子菩萨摩诃萨依诸善根如是回向，今未来劫常行慧施。Disciples of the Buddha, when Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, practice giving in this way, they are unpretentious. They harbor no expectations, no wish for fame or recognition, no regrets, no afflictions. They single-mindedly resolve to realize omniscient wisdom, to renounce everything, to compassionately care for living beings, and to teach and transform them, bringing them to maturity, grounding them in omniscient wisdom. Disciples of the Buddha with these good roots, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, make the following dedication. Until the end of future eons, I will constantly practice giving to benefit others. I'll say it first in English, then I'll translate for myself. Says disciples of the Buddha, when Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas give away all of those pleasures of the body, of the nose, of the tongue, of the mind, of the spirit, they do it with style. What kind of style? Unpretentious. They don't make a big show of it. They harbor no expectations. They're not hoping that people will praise them as great benefactors and give back to them. They don't want to be known for their work. However, they also don't avoid it. It's important to say, there are people who say, oh, I am anonymous donor, do not mention my name. And if you do, you want to acknowledge that their generosity, they get very upset. That's carrying it to another extreme. Master Hua would, when people would make a big fuss about not acknowledging a gift that they gave, he would scold us and say, why didn't you find out who gave this? Yes, that is false modesty. You want to be acknowledged for what you did. You just don't want to seek fame and recognition for it. And you don't want to, if you, by forcing nobody to know that you were the donor, it's an attachment of the same time. It's like you do have a name, you do deserve the merit for the goodness you did. By insisting that you have to do it anonymously, you're missing the point, said Shifu. And I changed my thinking because I assumed that it was really good to never let anybody know that you did giving. He said, that is not rufa. You are known as the donor. You simply don't seek fame for it or any repayment. Let that happen with the force of the Dharma. How to give the way a bodhisattva gives? You practice, you are unpretentious, you don't expect things, you don't wish for fame or recognition, you also don't avoid it and hide from it. That's a reverse kind of egotism. It's like, wow, I never would have, thank goodness Shifu explained that, because this, the Chan school, as taught by our teacher, always brings us back to common sense. Feet on the ground, normal, without trying to make a splash. So hiding from generosity is a lot of work, and it's not natural. So that was a lesson that I got from Master Hua. 菩萨这样布施呢，如是施是无虚伪心。虚伪心就说一个做布施不清净啊，无希望心啊，无名誉心，无终悔心啊，无热闹心。这样子呢，有的我上人给我改了我的态度对于布施。这是怎么说呢？我知道在庙上有人他们供养他们，然后你说他们的名字，他们都 no 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 不要不要不要不要不要不要，好像硬要做引名师啊。上人，我是不是有一天到了1楼，在这个怡经院有人供养，他说这是谁供养？我说师父，他们不要我知道， 他说这是不对的，这是相反的执着，这是从反面的一个执着。你不知道是谁供养，你不能告诉我是谁供养，他们哪有功德了？你一定要知道人供养什么，就是说没有虚伪，不是说有什么弯弯曲曲的没有希望心，他们不是求名，可是他们是斋主，是坛乐，是功德主，所以这个你们要明白，一切都要合乎中道。你硬要做隐名师、无名师，那也是另外一个执着了。所以呢，不要照做。你就说不要说我说那个那么难看呢？这为什么不自然的说这是我供养的阿弥陀佛，够了。那你的功德在如果硬要没有名字，那是执着了。所以我也不懂这个师父特别指出，那么谁供养要说了，不要再说，不要赞叹。可是你就说我没有了，不对了，那是不自然的。所以这一点呢，我们要看清楚，华严经这么说的，就说没有虚伪心，就说好像你希望多几个人知道呢，当然那是求名，那是名誉。可是你硬要没有人知道的，不对的你不求这个，没有希望大家说哎，你大斋主、大功德、大护法，没有了，不必了。不过你不说，你不承认你供养，那哪有功德了无中悔心如热闹心。Also, they single-mindedly resolve to realize wisdom, to renounce everything, care for living beings, teach and transform living beings, bringing them to maturity, grounding them in omniscient wisdom. Whoa. Luckily, those of us who knew Master Shenhua met someone who did this thing, who resolved to realize wisdom and let everything go and cared for us, to teach us so that bit by bit we could grow in the Dharma and also recognize the goal that matters, the one that lasts, omniscient wisdom. Disciples of the Buddha with these good roots, bodhisattvas, make the following dedication. Until the end of future eons, I will constantly practice giving to benefit others. How wonderful. How wonderful is that? 就说菩萨他们怎么做呢？发专求一切智道心，就是这个究竟的目标。然后呢，他们为这个目标就一切牺舍他们可以生命过得简单的，不必怎么样好也可以，不好没有关系，平等为什么他们愿意哀悯众生？他们愿意当老师，愿意当师父，愿意当教授，教化成熟众生。凭那个心，就像谁？我们玄华上人接令我们安住一切智之心，这是他的目的，用很多的方法，让我们慢慢的认识人生是一个开智慧的机会。发财到时候不能带走害人到时候还要受果报那么求名求利不能带走，没用的。到了阎罗王那里，他看穿那些，看我们手怎么做，心怎么做，口怎么做，就让我们下一辈子是这么一回事 所以还没有到那个时候知道究竟的目的是要有智慧，要有慈悲心，那就是真正没有错过读华严经，学习我们善知识的教诲。佛子菩萨摩诃萨一诸善根如是回向，今未来劫强行会师他有这个愿力就说生生世世我都愿意做欢喜布施的人，慈善家这是菩萨的这个目标。Okay, so how wonderful is that? Able to do the giving of Dharma. Yes. I wanted to share so let me start here. Just came back from China with a delegation from Dharma Realm Buddhist University, from Dharma Realm Buddhist Association, and among our, let's see here, we'll do it this way. I wanted to show you who was there. Let's look at our delegation. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. Hello. That's not the one. I didn't do a good job of sorting these. Let's see here. Not that one. Okay. Here we are. Here's our delegation. Look here. We are at Jingshan Wanshou Si in Zhejiang Province. 这就是金山万寿寺，在浙江省。This is, we attended the three country forum, China, Canada, and America. And we were the Americans. Never mind that in our group we have a British monk from Thailand. But look at our group. We have 3 Thai forest monks. We have 3 Mahayana monks. We have an American filmmaker. We have a graduate of our schools and universities. We have an administrator from City of 10,000 Buddhas and Dharma Protector. And then we have our guide, Madalena, in the center.
Subhas, are you sharing your screen?
Am I not sharing my screen? Thank you for telling me. Wow, how'd I forget? Share screen. Here I'm telling you what to look at, and you can't see it. Okay. This is our first delegation. Now, from City of 10,000 Buddhas and from Taiwan, we also had Jin Jing Shi, and we also had Jin Guo Shi, and we also had Leonie Tan, who joined us later on in the group. Let me translate that, and then I'll tell you some stories here. 就说刚刚从中国回来，有我们中美加3个国家的世界佛教论坛我们从法界佛教总会、法界佛教大学出发的，都有访问团。各位可以看到这个我们的相片里边有3个南传的法师，包括 Jayasaro 法师，他是英国人，在泰国，他是阿占差长老的一位大弟子，把他的师父的生平写一本Stillness Flowing， 就是阿占差长老的外传。还有2位，他们是 Kovilo 法师，他是我们法界佛教大学的学生，还有 Nisabo 法师，年轻的，在西雅图地区，这个泰国森林传统的法师。我们这个光圈大和尚，就杭州灵隐寺的 住持法师，他先到了加州，希望我们可以经我们所认识的佛教里边的朋友，就可以请一些美代表美中美加代表佛教在西方，所以我们都能请到他们3位，就代表宣化上人的愿力，就是南传北传不要分手我们要团结，所以就有这个代表性。好 ，So the inviting Ajahn Jayasaro from the Thai tradition. He is actually British, but he is representative of Buddhism in the West, along with this bhikshu here, Venerable Kovilo, who was a student at Dharma Buddhist University. The fact that he is one of the first Thai forest monks to study at a Mahayana university, and Ajahn Nisabo, a bhikshu from the Seattle area, who is representing a Thai forest tradition with a lot of vigor online. This is very important representation of how the Thai forest tradition, led by Ajahn Chah, Ajahn Sumedho, Ajahn Jayasaro, and others, is following our teacher's vision to bring Mahayana and Theravada back together. So we 3 from City of 10,000 Buddhas, and in the back here is Ted Berger, who is a filmmaker of films, Buddhist films that I think many of us have seen. Here is Amy Zhang Chen, administrator at City of 10,000 Buddhas. Michael Liu, graduate of our boys' school, went to Stanford, works for NVIDIA, and our guide, Madalena Tam, whose vows to bring Shifu's sutras to Asia, to China, has met with tremendous success. So this is Jingshan, 10,000-year lifespan monastery, Wanshousi. The famous aspect of this ancient monastery is this is the source of the Huatou, our method of Chan meditation, where you follow Chan Huatou, who is reciting the Buddha's name and others, was created here at Jingshan Si. This is also the source of the tea ceremony that became so famous in Japan, began here at Jingshan Monastery. So Japanese pilgrims make pilgrimages every year to Jingshan Si. 这个金山寺它的立名是我们禅宗参话头，就在这里，就从这里开始。然后呢，我们茶宴就说日本他们非常流行的这个 Japanese tea ceremony， 有一个碗子，还有那个绿色的那个绿茶粉。加热水，然后 squish 这样子，用那个斧头这样子，那就是在金山寺开始，回去日本变成很流行，所以每年都有很多团体就到金山寺从日本。So that was one of our moments there, but I also wanted to share some other photos that people might enjoy. Take a look here， 这个相片也是在金山寺。我们这儿有从后边，从前边这位呢是严觉大和尚，严觉是我们中国佛教协会的会长，现在他呢也是我们的敢说，他是我们的朋友。严觉大和尚他来过万佛城，法界大学，他提的字就书法就在法界大学那里。那么 Jayasaro 是在他的左手边，他的左手边是这个喇嘛是北京雍和宫的大方丈，那么方丈的右手边这个是常藏法师，常藏法师是北京灵光寺佛牙舍利的大住持，我们 在北京也有机会去灵光寺讲讲这个佛雅舍利。So let me show you who's here. This is Master Heng Sure. Master Heng Sure is a friend of ours. He is the current chairperson of the Buddhist Studies Association of China, the Buddhist Association of China. He's the #1 monk in China right now. Here's Ajahn Jayasaro. To his left is the abbot of the Yonghe Gong, the lamasery in Beijing, the most famous one. And to his left is Abbot Changzang. Changzang Fashi is the abbot of Lingguang Si in Beijing, where the Buddha's tooth sharira, the Buddha's tooth relic, is held. Okay, I'm here. This is Master Zhao Chu from Los Angeles. And here are 2 young monks as well, Ajahn Kovilo, Ajahn Nisabo. In the back, people know Jinwei Shi, Jin Chuan Shi. This monk in the back is the current abbot of the monastery, Jingshan Wanshou Si. His name is Master Jie Xing. Very skillful, learned monk with a real capacity for organizing this vast, absolutely huge monastery up there at Jingshan Si. And then we have Master Guangquan, the abbot of Lingyan Si in Hangzhou. Here is Mr. Liu Wei, the General Secretary of the Buddhist Association. Here's Madalena. This is Zongxing Fashi, a young monk who is the Vice Chancellor of Buddhist Studies Academy in Beijing. Here's Michael Liu and Amy, and this is Mr. Wang Li, also from the Buddhist Association. 各位认识这个严觉大和尚，就是中国佛教协会的会长，来过王佛城几次，然后在萨尔法师雍和宫的方丈，这个灵光寺的方丈长藏法师，赵初法师洛杉矶的，还有我们2位南传的团员，金卫法师 Berkeley Monastery， 还有法界大学，金传法师也是。在他后边呢是一位叫戒信法师，戒信法师是这里的这个金山万寿寺的大方丈，他呢蛮有学问，他对禅宗特别有感兴趣，是个修行的法师。在他的左手边是光泉大和尚，这次请我们去的，跟我们有善缘的一位大法师，在中国杭州。六位居士是这个佛教协会的总秘书，他也是常常帮我们安排能到达中国又回来。Madalena 在这边谭居士，我们的导游。然后在六位居士的旁边是宗信法师，他也是这个中国佛学院的这个副院长，很有学问的一个年轻法师。Michael Liu、Amy 还有王丽居士就是佛教协会。Okay, so you can see a big part of our trip to China is the people we meet, the relationships that we share with these friends. That over the years we keep coming back and following our teacher, following Master Hsuan Hua, and the interests of Buddhists in China in what Shifu was doing in the West. And we can show up and share our love of the Mahayana teachings with these monks year after year, and these lay people is just a joy. And I can say that we now have friendships with many of these individuals who have given their lives to keeping the Dharma alive in China. So I have many, many more stories which I will share with you as the weeks go and photos. I'm going to translate what I just said and then go to Master Xuanzang's biography. So let me translate that and we'll move forward. 就说等一等，这几个礼拜了，我有很多很多故事，从这次到了国内，到了中国，可是你问我 最应该说最有价值，就说一辈子难忘的这个经验，就是我们跟这些佛教界的朋友的关系了。现在可以说是朋友，因为很多年就见个面，看他们在国内领导佛教，然后因为我们有师父玄华上人把正法带到西方，他们对于上人的愿就很感兴趣，所以东方西方都可以团结，共同研究佛法，共同弘扬佛法，就是在这种工作当中，跟这些佛友们都有同山道友的朋友的关系了，难得。Okay, so to be continued. There's a lot more to share. Moving right along now, look what we got. Ho, ho, ho. Master Xuanzang, what's he up to? He is in the place called Kucha. And Kucha, we learned, is on the rim of Xinjiang. And from here, he hits the mountains. This is like his last civilized stop before he becomes a mountain climber. He's already traversed the desert and nearly died multiple times, but he didn't. And the king of Gaochang picked him up, made him a blood brother, set him on the right track towards the Nalanda University, and he's now in the place of Kucha. And we learned that there, well, I won't get ahead of myself. 玄奘法师他已经航过大沙漠摩诃岩，快死没死，临死没死，就到了一个叫高昌国。这个高昌的国王愿意跟他结拜成那个兄弟，也是崇拜玄奘大圣。他然后呢就把很多的需要的这些设备往高山雪山，因为都要过这个雪山，就正确的方向派他去了。到了一个叫修持国，let's see here， Kucha 叫前往的平等叫什么？居多等来引修木 ，see here， 到了 OK， 屈之国，我说错了，屈之国到了那里，到了怎么一回事？智师智法师智，诸德起来，尚未去，各换就坐，是一生。请鲜花一盘来受法师，法师授意将至佛前三花礼拜起，就木戳居多下座，座一复行花，行花一行葡萄浆于初一四受花受浆一，次受于四一耳。如是辗转，日焰方气，僧徒始散。Wow. The master arrived in the country of Kucha. Virtuous monks rose and greeted him. Having done so, they sat back down, and then one monk came and handed a tray full of fresh flowers to the master. He took the flowers. He didn't say thank you. He didn't set them aside. He took the flowers and said, these are perfect for offering to the Buddha. So he offered to the Buddha images, and he bowed to the Buddhas. Then he sat down beside a person whom the folks of Kucha revered, Mokshagupta. He sat down again. They offered flowers to him again. And after he received the flowers, now he didn't have to offer them to the Buddha again. They gave him some refreshment. It was grape juice. Notice it was not wine. Or maybe it was wine and it got recorded as grape juice. We don't know how much alcohol was actually in the grape juice. Was it fermented? Was it clean? But it's recorded that it was what? Let's see here. 葡萄浆. We will assume that they held the precepts and it was not alcohol. Having received the flowers and the grape juice in the first camp, he had to go to the second and the third and other camps and follow the same procedure until sunset, when the monks began to disperse. So this is ritual. And by golly, Chinese li, Chinese courtesy is very, very much a part of Chinese culture from the earliest times. The Li Ji is one of the classics of Confucian behavior, and it's very important. It's emphasized so that when people come together, as this monk from China he's on the Silk Road, there's a way to receive them that honors them while giving them a sense of who you are. And I'm a convert to this method. As an American, we're like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Good. Oh, nice to, yeah, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, boy, what about those Warriors? Yeah, Draymond Green got in trouble again. I don't know. They lost 5. They see they need him, but they can't, it's just, we're very casual. We're like crude, maybe, because we all kind of escaped out of Europe, various kinds of persecutions or the persecution of poverty. And we don't have kings. And so we don't have that verticality in our society. We emphasize rugged individualism. So here in Australia, much the same, although they do have a queen. King now, queen's gone. So in a society that is vertical, like China and the trade routes, the Silk Road, how you present yourself, how you welcome someone, shows the quality of your civilization. And here they're leading with Buddhist protocol because they're greeting a monk. And the preliminaries, giving everybody in this far off country, Kucha, it's a trade route, it's an oasis, letting every different group of monks who have been summoned out to see him. Because when you're making the ceremony, everybody's watching. They're figuring out who you are by how you receive their kindness, their courtesy. So it's a wonderful way, a safe way, and an honorable way to start a relationship. And you may decide to go to war afterwards. You may decide that this person is here to save you. This is a kind of a messiah. You could, all different from those two extremes. You bow to them or you kill them later. Maybe you do trade with them. So different kinds of relationships. This courtesy, these rituals, are all part of that. And Master Shenzong was such a wise and compassionate paragon, sample of the Chinese Mahayana, that everywhere he went, people wanted to become his student and his disciple. They thought, whatever you got going for you, I want part of it. Can I bow to you and become your student? What a monk. 这些仪式，一个海外的大僧高僧到了这个丝绸之路一个绿岛库查区次，他们有仪式， 欢迎他。这个仪式有它的作用，他是佛教的代表，所以他们用佛教的仪式来欢迎他。就先鲜花，然后鲜葡萄酱，是不是葡萄酒他们没有记录，有没有发生酒精，我们万佛城都有葡萄，知道这个过程。今天是葡萄酱，明天泡子出来了是葡萄酒。他们因为佛教，所以应该是葡萄酱、葡萄汁。欢迎他用这个仪式，看看他怎么样接受。这个贵宾他也知道这个国家怎么一回事，看那个仪式。这个古来的社会有这个作用。我现在越到海外去了，受他们的欢迎，我越欣赏，知道这不是好像空的一种仪式，不是，里边的重要作用都在。中国13经里边都有礼记，所以呢，知道礼、孝悌、忠心、礼义，孝悌忠心礼义贤耻，这个礼很重要，这是一种德。玄奘大师怎么接受他们新的礼？他们也观察他，知道他是怎么一回事。他们是不是要尊敬他，或者他不接受，他们以后会不会打，都要看礼懂不懂礼。所以礼貌并不是皮毛的，这是一个将来有关系的一个开始，初步，然后你就决定这个人跟你以后有来往是怎么一回事。玄奘大师他呢，到了海外，很多不同的国家了，必须要参加这些仪式。他这么有道德，这么有功德，许多地方，包括国王在内，看着他就愿意皈依他，愿意给他做徒弟了。所以他这么代表汉传佛教，到了现在，我们知道这个很少跟他可比的。我们还记得这种大的关系了，这种尊重他。Okay, a question. Can you please post a link to the life of the Xuanzang text? I certainly can. You want to 有人要求他们怎么可以受这个这本书，这个可以免费。Life of Xuanzang. Okay, I want to find it. Let's see here. Biography of the Tripitaka Master. Let's see here. I think if Yihuan is on, there is a really nice. I'm going to go out here. So I have to do this quickly because time is up. The BDK America. Bukkyo Dendyo Kai is the result of a man named Yehan Numata, a fine Japanese Buddhist disciple, layman, and he also, along with Master Hua, made a vow to circulate the Tripitaka. And find your text. One of the texts that he accomplished was this one. Was Master, here it is right here. Okay, and he is distributing these for free. It says, here it is, PDF download. You can buy it or you can download it for free. 这个Numata 先生努玛特居士，他是日本的居士，他向我们师父也发过愿，就说我愿意把大藏经翻译流通，出版很多书，里边包括这个英文的玄奘大师的这个外传，这个可以买35块钱，也可以在下免费在这里。刚刚放在 chat room 里边，谁愿意到这里研究他的其他的经书也在这儿，不错不错。他跟我们 BTTS 不同，是他愿意雇一些学者，他们学者就选择哪一个经书他们要翻译，然后他就付钱给他们。他们也没有我们的4个委员会那个8种翻译的规矩不同，那在那儿。The Numata Foundation also translated a number of sutras, but the way Mr. Numata did it was he hired scholars to translate different sutras and paid them for it. Of course, the quality is very good, but they don't have our 4 committees or our 8 rules for translators, so it's different. But their accomplishments are quite remarkable. It's right here. Okay, time to finish. 我们现在就要回向功德了。Next week, I'm going to tell you more stories about the trip to China. Some are quite amazing, quite wonderful. Look forward to sharing with everybody more of the trip. 下个礼拜我们继续讲这次去中国一些故事。哇，有很多故事是心里都会很温暖哈。Okay, dedicating merit. Here we go. Practice. 我们就 practice Bodhisattva's dedication. 我们就把社会上品的菩萨这种行门，现在可以实现，按照每个人不同的愿力。May every living be our minds as one and radiant with light. Fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can bind in giving unity, may our minds away to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. We can bow to the Buddhas. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. 好了，到此为止。阿弥陀佛。See you all next week. That's it for today. 阿弥陀佛。Thanks for joining. See you all next week, everybody. Bye-bye.